We're going to hear from a number of people who have been instrumental in supporting home ownership in Baltimore. Here with us today is Council President Brandon Scott, Comptroller Pratt, Congressman Elijah Cummings, Jerome Stevens on behalf of Ben Cotton, Annie Milley, Executive Director of LIFT Baltimore, Monica Mitchell, Vice President of Wells Fargo, Kim Smith-Moore, NeighborhoodLIFT, National Program Manager for Wells Fargo, Dan Ellis, Executive Director of Neighborhood Housing Services of Baltimore, and Donald Phoenix, Regional Vice President of NeighborWorks America. Before I get started, I want to ask the President to have a few remarks, followed by Comptroller Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I came here simply to say thank you to the mayor, thank you to Wells Fargo, thank you to everyone involved in this partnership and making home ownership a reality for more Baltimoreans. We know that purchasing a home is one of the biggest investments that most families will ever make. And to allow people in Baltimore, a city that has struggled with providing these kind of opportunities for residents that live in our city, to have a program like this continue to grow and prosper is great for the city of Baltimore. I look forward to partnering with everyone here to making this partnership and others even stronger so we can provide this opportunity of owning a piece of property, owning land, owning a home to pass down from generation to generation, from family member to family member, more of a reality for more and more and for Baltimore. So again, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Wells Fargo. Thank you, LIFT Baltimore. Thank you, everyone. And let's continue to get people in their own homes. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am excited about this program also, and I am confident that this program and our valued partnerships will connect our citizens to aid and support needed to increase home ownership in Baltimore City. Programs that offer financial assistance are a lifeline to those who long to be homeowners. It gives people an opportunity to have a space that they can truly call their own, they can put down roots, and an opportunity to increase investment power, save money, build wealth, with the steadfast commitment of the mayor, elected officials, Wells Fargo, Neighborhood Works, American Neighborhood Housing Services of Baltimore, other stakeholders, and community leaders. We have come together with a shared responsibility to better our community. The expansion of NeighborhoodLIFT is evidence that our ability to address challenges that face our city, state, and as a nation in an effort to ensure a better future for all of us. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited you have all joined us today and for this very special announcement. Charm City is a historic city and special community to work and live. While housing affordability is a significant concern in Baltimore, by working together, we can create opportunities to support our residents in buying their own home right here in Baltimore. From East Baltimore to West Baltimore down to the heart of our city. All Baltimoreans from diverse economic backgrounds and communities deserve access to safe, high-quality housing that they can afford. Through the efforts of Wells Fargo, NeighborWorks America, and Neighborhood Housing Services, this new initiative we are announcing today will help unlock more housing options and usher in a new area of revitalization for our great city. With that in mind, please join me in welcoming a man who needs no introduction in Baltimore City, Congressman Elijah Cummings.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And I want to thank all of you all for being here this morning, and to President Scott, and to Comptroller Pratt, and to all of our folks that are here. Thank you, and to the various organizations that are part of this Neighborhood Housing Services, and Donald Phoenix, the Regional Vice President of NeighborWorks America, Monica Mitchell and her team at Wells Fargo, and Annie Milley, Executive Director of LIFT Baltimore. To me, this is one of the most important things that we can do. Give people an opportunity to own a house. Just somewhere where they don't have to worry about when they want to put a hole in the wall to put a picture up, whether they got to go to the landlord. They are the landlord. And so that they can own something, and so that they can have some equity. And a few years ago, Mr. Mayor, when they were having the settlements with regard to some of these companies like Wells Fargo, one of the things that Senator Elizabeth Warren and I zeroed in on, and Trudy Perkins knows this, she's worked on this hard on my staff, we said we want to make sure that the people who were hurt and the neighborhoods who were hurt get the benefit of some of these settlements. And this is a prime example of that. This is so significant because it does two major things. One, it provides people with down payment money. You know, there are a lot of people, Mr. Mayor, who they can afford the rent in a house, but they can't get a down payment to get a house. And if they could just get that little, I mean, this is $15,000. That's no joke. That's serious money. $15,000. That's how they said in Baltimore. No, that's serious. And then, but the other piece that it does is there's this requirement that they get educated. I mean, it's nothing like having something and then losing it. I mean, all of us, everybody up here knows somebody who had a nice house and they lost it. And then they may have lost it forever. And the thing about it is that what this does, Mr. Mayor, and I want to thank you for your leadership because you've been all over this. What it does is it helps children. You know, all the research shows, first of all, when somebody owns a house, they usually take better care of it. And the kids do better. I mean, and the neighborhoods are stronger. And that's what we're trying to do in Baltimore, and the mayor says this over and over again, we're trying to increase our population. But we could, it's just so hard to get there when we've got people who really deserve this opportunity, but they can't get that down payment. And so to Wells Fargo, I want to thank you. But I want to say something else to Wells Fargo. Let me be clear. I appreciate what y'all doing. This $6 million is nice. But I want you to come back. I want you to come back and bring more because we have a need. We have a tremendous need. And I'm sure everybody else out here, and I don't want you to think that we're being greedy, but a lot of people suffered. A lot of people lost a lot. And all we're trying to do is get them home. And again, I am excited about this. This is the type of program that we need, and we're going to encourage other banks and other folks to do the same thing, because when we invest in Baltimore, we invest in the state of Maryland, and we invest in our families and our neighborhoods. And so again, I want to thank all of our elected officials. I want to thank all of the partners who are going to be a part of making this work. And then the other thing we got to do, and I'm so glad we're having this news conference, Mr. Mayor, we got to get the word out. We got to get the word out. It's nothing like having an opportunity that you don't even know you've got. And so let's make sure that people know about it so that they can try to take advantage of it. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Monica. Oh my God. Monica, listen up. I got so excited over the program, I forgot about Monica. Monica Mitchell, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Monica. Monica is, I mean, she is just a phenomenal human being. She works for Wells Fargo. And she is a person who has engineered all of this, and she's the glue that keeps it all together. Wells Fargo says, let's do it, but then you got to have somebody who makes it happen. She makes it happen. And the thing that I love about her is she's passionate about this stuff. She don't play. And she goes above the call of duty. And so, Monica, I apologize. There you go. I got you straight now.
You got it straight. Thank you, Congressman. Well, welcome guests, public officials, I mean, I don't even know what to say after that. Public officials and community stakeholders, on behalf of Wells Fargo, I'm incredibly delighted to make this announcement today in reference to Baltimore City. First, we'd like to acknowledge the Honorable Mayor Young, Congressman Cummings, we have Don Phoenix over here, Dan Ellis, and Annie Milley.
We have a long-standing tradition of commitment to Charm City and have supported several initiatives in partnership with the mayor's office as well as Congressman Cummings, including concentrated support for West Baltimore and across our city, addressing housing and other critical needs. As a Baltimore native, I'm incredibly proud to see the improvements happening in Baltimore that address housing affordability with Wells Fargo's support. With that in mind, as part of Wells Fargo's commitment to Baltimore and focus on housing affordability, which includes affordable homeownership, we have an important announcement this morning. Today, we are launching a new collaboration to boost homeownership for Baltimoreans. It's called NeighborhoodLIFT, and will offer down payment assistance plus, to the Congressman's point, homebuyer education. NeighborhoodLIFT will give Baltimore City a $6 million philanthropic investment by Wells Fargo. That is $6 million in philanthropy that will provide homebuyer education plus $15,000, or as we say in Baltimore, $15,000 in homebuyer down payment assistance grants intended to help low and moderate income families and individuals, as well as $17,500 grants to be able to help our military members, veterans, teachers, law enforcement officers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians achieve their dream of homeownership. Let me say that again. NeighborhoodLIFT will provide $15,000 in down payment assistance for eligible home buyers and $17,500 for teachers, first responders, military, and veterans. And to top that off, it is stackable with other down payment assistance programs. So we're talking about big money for Baltimore City families. Mortgages obtained to take advantage of our philanthropic NeighborhoodLIFT program are not exclusive to Wells Fargo, and home buyers can select any participating lender determined by NeighborWorks and Neighborhood Housing Services of Baltimore. That it just gives you an idea of the essence of this philanthropic effort. These are grants where folks are able to take advantage of any approved lender that doesn't even have to be Wells Fargo. The 2019 Baltimore LIFT program will help more than 290 families by making homeownership more affordable, achievable, and sustainable through down payment assistance grants with any participating lender. Back in 2012, we brought CityLIFT to Baltimore City and helped provide homeownership opportunities for 386 homeowners. So to be able to apply for and qualify for a down payment assistance grant, we are encouraging home buyers who want to buy and live in Baltimore City to attend the free launch on July 19th and 20th at the Baltimore Convention Center. Home buyers can register at www.wellsfargo.com/lift. LIFT, beginning July 1st. And y'all gotta be on it. It's like Beyonce tickets, man, I'm telling you. You have to be on it. Home buyers not able to attend, however, can also learn about eligibility through their local Wells Fargo home mortgage office or NHS. The program will have a tremendous and positive impact on home ownership in our city. We are proud to also include a collaboration with Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Service on the My Home, My Deed, My Legacy program to help more Baltimore homes stay in families to build and transfer wealth. So these houses, this equity, this wealth goes from generation to generation. This program will allow home counselors to work with families during the duration of LIFT to ensure families are thinking about their legacy planning during the deed recordation process. Not only are we excited to have a positive impact on homeownership, but also the future vitality of Baltimore and its residents. As a girl from West Baltimore who was born here, raised here, educated here, lives here now, and raises my own children here, I cannot tell you how excited I am, and I need to tell you with all authenticity and honesty that this thoughtful collaboration is what we need so that Baltimore can thrive. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for helping Wells Fargo, Mayor Young, Congressman Cummings, NeighborWorks America, and NHS, and all the other involved community leaders and organizations get the word out and increase homeownership. We need folks to know about this program. Finally, as a courtesy, we'd like to share a friendly reminder, and you might have seen it on the news this morning, that on Saturday, Wells Fargo is joining Home Free USA and author Stedman Graham to launch the Step Into Your Power, Prepare for Success Through Homeownership program at the Reginald F. Lewis Museum of African American History. This is intended to inspire African Americans to achieve homeownership in Baltimore. Homeownership rates among African American households in Baltimore are showing a troubling decline, and we know that we can reverse this trend. In 2017, Wells Fargo announced a $60 billion lending goal and commitment to assist 250,000 African American families achieve homeownership by 2026. Home Free on Saturday will begin launching their program to provide counseling services, and Wells Fargo home mortgage consultants will be on hand to help local residents on the steps to achieve sustainable homeownership. So not only are we providing the resources, but also the pathway to get there.
Wonderful.
Wells Fargo will make available complimentary face-to-face counseling sessions provided by Home Free USA or another HUD-approved counseling credit counselor in advance of expanding the NeighborhoodLIFT program. I am so thrilled to offer this announcement to you all today. This is my city. This is our city. I'm also really excited to be able to lean into helping folks understand that success doesn't need to mean moving out of Baltimore. Right. Success can mean staying in Baltimore, living in Baltimore, and contributing to the vitality of Baltimore. So thank you so much. With that, I'd like to introduce Don Phoenix, Regional Vice President, Southern Region for NeighborWorks America.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Right, it's my pleasure to be here with Congressman Cumming, Mayor Young, and Monica Mitchell of Wells Fargo to tell you about this very exciting opportunities for family to really achieve the dream of home ownership right here in Baltimore. As you've heard, Wells Fargo LIFT program will provide qualified home buyers with at least $15,000 to go towards a down payment. With that, home ownership is just gotten to be affordable. And it's affordable to many, many hardworking families, and I think that's a big deal. And I would like to commend Wells Fargo for making that opportunity available. But achieving successful home ownership is not just about having enough money in the bank for down payment. It's not just about being able to qualify for a mortgage. It's about being able to understand the home buying process, which is very difficult. Yeah. It's also about being able to know what to expect once you become a homeowner. And I tell people all the time that I didn't know what to expect. I bought a house and I looked outside and I saw a yard of dirt. And I spent all my money getting the house, so nobody told me to put some money aside. But under the home buyer education program now, we go through all of that. And it's also about having a trusted advisor that's there all time of days to answer questions you may have. Even after you leave the closing table, questions come up. And so you need someone to call and to lean on. And I'm so excited that that's provided in this program. NeighborWorks America is a federally chartered organization. We're a nonprofit, chartered by Congress, and we help people in all of the 50 states, and also in D.C. and Puerto Rico. And we've been doing that for 40 years. And yeah. And we're so proud that Wells Fargo has invited us to partner with them in NeighborhoodLIFT nationwide. Wells Fargo understand that a prepared home ownership is a successful homeowner, and a successful homeowner really add to the vitality of communities. And that's our goal with this program, not just making people homeowners, but it's important where we make them homeowners and allowing them to participate in the community once they become homeowners. That's very important. And since February 2012, we've worked with Wells Fargo to bring LIFT to all over the country. And I want to say that I'm excited, if you're not, that it's back in Baltimore again. Thank you. And so that excitement that LIFT brings whenever we go to a site It's really supported by really dedicated public officials and local partners. And for that, I'd like to thank you, Mayor Young, for your support of NeighborhoodLIFT. I want to also say that it's important that if you've been waiting, if you know someone who's been waiting to become a homeowner, as Congressman says, spread the word.
Yeah, spread the word.
Now is the time.
Yeah.
Don't let them miss the opportunity. And so what I would like to leave you with is that we don't take this lightly at NeighborWorks. We make certain that we have organizations that are there to provide the expert counseling and support that the families will need. And we have this in Baltimore. And I'd like to introduce Dan Ellis, the Executive Director of Neighborhood Housing Services, who will tell you more about the LIFT program. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking some of the folks here for their leadership. Congressman Cummings, you have been leading in homeownership promotion for a few decades now, so thank you for that work. Mayor Young is not new to this game. He may be our new mayor, but he's not new to promoting homeownership in Baltimore and loving and caring about and promoting Baltimore City. So thank you for continuing that legacy. Council President Scott as a council member for many, many years, was a huge advocate for his district in Northeast Baltimore. We're excited to have him advocating for the entire city now. So thank you for your leadership and work. And Comptroller Pratt, we appreciate your leadership in helping us move Baltimore forward. We are excited to be here today with Wells Fargo and NeighborWorks to announce this partnership. NHS and our entire team is proud to bring LIFT back to Baltimore. We helped 386 people buy houses between 2012 and 2016, and we are excited to help 300 or more come into home ownership going forward. But I want to take a minute and focus on why this matters, because home ownership is vitally important to our city and to our residents. Many folks don't believe they can own a home. But yet, with the right education and the right help and the right assistance, they can help people move to become homeowners. And LIFT, NeighborhoodLIFT, it's a habit, and LIFT helps us to do that by providing the money to deal with the closing cost and the down payment assistance. We see people regularly in our office who come in for the education that is so critical that the Congressman articulated well. We see people come into our office, and what we find is that they have good credit, they have a good income and a good job, but they don't have the $10,000 or $15,000 of cash that you need to pay your closing cost or to put the down payment that's required by the loan program in order to be able to move into that home. And that barrier prevents them, keeps them out of home ownership. And we know that home ownership is the greatest wealth building tool that we have. So this barrier prevents people from being able to access home ownership. The LIFT program that's being brought to us today, funded by Wells Fargo, that we're able to bring to Baltimore, helps remove that barrier so that a lot of these people who until today were not able to access home ownership can now do so. So I want to talk for just a minute to those who are out there who don't think they can buy a house, who don't think this is for you. Because we see people every day who walk in and say, I never thought I could do it. But with the right education and the hard work that you're willing to put in, and with programs like LIFT, home ownership can become real for you. So how do you qualify for LIFT? So LIFT is for anyone who has a household income of $75,000 or less. So that's a lot of money. So a lot of people, most people in our communities in Baltimore City can get into LIFT. I did it again. They can get into LIFT, $75,000 or less. You have to go through homebuyer education. Why? Because we want you to stay in homeownership as long as you choose to stay in homeownership and not to go through foreclosure. And the education helps prevent that. You need to qualify with a mortgage with an approved lender. There's 17 of them. It's not a small list. Please go and check that out. And then you need to have a contract on a house within 60 days of the event. So the event, let's talk about that for a minute. The event is coming on July 18th or July 19th and 20th into Baltimore. It'll be at the Convention Center. But the critical piece is that on July 1st, you get an appointment, you get a reservation. So as Monica told us before, I'll repeat the address where you can get that. If you go to wellsfargo.com/lift, that's wellsfargo.com/lift, L-I-F-T. You go on at 9 a.m., or maybe a little before, on the 1st of July to get your reservation. Based on what's happened in other markets, we expect them to be gone in less than 10 minutes. So get on right at 9 o'clock. Register now. So another important step, register now for housing counseling. You do not have to wait till July 19th to do your housing counseling. Do it now. It will speed up the entire process for you. In order to do that, you can just go to our website at nhsbaltimore.com. You can register for one of our classes, or you can go to any other HUD-certified counseling agency in the city. We have lots of great agencies. Find one that's in the area that you're interested in, or go to our website for a list. NHS, as a team, we're incredibly excited to bring LIFT back to Baltimore because of the impact that it has on people, on families. This is about families. It's about children. It's about homeowners in our city. There is so much good going on in Baltimore right now. Baltimore has so much good going on every single day. Come join us as residents of the city. LIFT can help you do that. So it's my privilege now to introduce somebody who has been an advocate for homeownership in Baltimore for a very long time and has helped many people through a tremendous organization called Live Baltimore, who does great work and has great information about buying a home in Baltimore. So it's my privilege to introduce their executive director, Annie Milley.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dan, for that warm introduction. It's an honor to be here with Mayor Young, Congressman Cummings, other elected officials, Wells Fargo, NeighborWorks America, and our local partners at NHS for this exciting announcement of NeighborhoodLIFT. At Live Baltimore, we have the privilege of sharing our city with new residents and homeowners every single day. And you know, I always remind folks, Baltimore is a big city. It is 81 square miles, it is 278 neighborhoods, and it's a place for everyone. So whether you're dreaming of one of Baltimore's famous row homes, complete with marble steps made for stoop sitting, if you're looking for a historic home, or yes, even a home for your growing family with a driveway and one of those yards to mow, we know that you'll find it here in Baltimore City. Live Baltimore is thrilled to assist the 290 new homeowners who will benefit from NeighborhoodLIFT in finding and connecting with their perfect community. We're excited to be on hand at the neighborhood launch event on July 19th and 20th, where you can speak to our staff about all of Baltimore's great neighborhoods. For anyone out there who's hearing this exciting announcement and beginning to consider homeownership in Baltimore, I encourage you to start exploring our city at livebaltimore.com. There, you will find profiles and information on every one of our city's neighborhoods, as well as information on the financial incentives and tax credits that may stack with NeighborhoodLIFT. Thank you again to Wells Fargo and our partners at NHS for making this program possible. We are so excited to bring NeighborhoodLIFT back to Baltimore. Thank you. I'm going to turn things back over to Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
When was the last time, you said bringing the program back, when was the last time it was operating?
2012.
2012.
2012.
2012, so it's been since 2012 since this program's been established.
Right.
And can you explain to me why you feel homeownership is an important factor for the city? Because from a general dollars and cents figure, it doesn't make any difference to the budget if it's rental property or...
It's not about doing anything for the budget. It's about building wealth for families who typically don't pass things down to the next generation. And as the congressman alluded to, and just about every speaker alluded to, when you own something, you tend to take better care of it, which means that the neighborhood benefits from that. So it's not about growing a city budget. It's about making sure that people are able to grow wealth in their communities and their neighborhoods. And it's also about growing the city, making sure that we're not losing population, but we're gaining population. So this is another tool in the toolbox to help those who have the dream of becoming homeowners to become homeowners. So this is a good thing. And again, I want to thank Wells Fargo and all the partners here. And as Congressman Cummings alluded to, we want other banks to step up and do the similar thing. Now, we're talking grants. We're not talking about money to pay back. We're talking grants, which gives a person the opportunity to have that down payment money. So when they go to closing, they don't have to worry about where they're going to get the money from or who they have to borrow the money from. These are grants.
How long do you have to stay in the home once you buy it?
5 years.
5 years. Is there a penalty if you don't? How does that work?
So, you want me to answer? So the loan forgives 20%. So it's a 5-year forgivable loan that forgives 20% a year. It's a forgivable
Grant.
Yeah, so a forgivable grant that each year forgives 20%. So if you leave after 3 years, you pay back 40% of it out of the proceeds of the sale.
So do you have to go through the entire other process? So you have to get the mortgage application, the credit has to be good, and then this comes into play? Is that how it works?
So you come to the event. So first thing you do is you go on the website on July 1st, wellsfargo.com/lift. You go on the website, you get a reservation, you come to the event. You either come with an approved lender letter or you get qualified at the event. There will be people there at the event to qualify you with Wells Fargo. You then go and you have 60 days to find a house. You go through homebuyer education during that time period. You get your education, you get a contract on a house, and then when you close on the house, we will fund the grant.
I mean, what percentage of houses in the city that are currently for sale are you hoping take advantage of this program? Are you looking? Is there a number out there that when you look through this, you think 10%, 15%?
There's 290.
There's
200.
So the initial amount will fund 290 grants, and so as a result, what percentage of the market is that in 3 months?
So in last year, Baltimore City had about 9,000 home sales that were listed transactions. So you can break that down by month. May and June and July are some of the biggest months for shopping for a home in Baltimore City and anywhere else. And one thing that I'll point out about this incentive, the median home price in Baltimore City last year was $145,000. So you look at $15,000, that's 10% of the purchase price of a home. So when we're thinking about housing affordability, how do we reduce folks' monthly housing costs, this is going to reduce the monthly payment that they're going to have to make on their home. In Baltimore, In many neighborhoods, it is less expensive to own your own home and pay a mortgage than it is to rent. And so becoming a homeowner in many communities is a way for housing to become more affordable. Once you are a homeowner in Baltimore and in the state of Maryland, you're also protected from rising values through the homestead tax credit, the homeowner's tax credit. This is a way to invest in a community, to stay in a community, and in Baltimore, this is going to make a big difference.
I want to go back to something you said, you asked, because I want to be real clear. I don't want you to be confused. You know, you had asked the question about whether, you know, taxes and all that. And the mayor is absolutely right. What the mayor is trying to do, and all the people up here in Wells Fargo, is build people. In other words, give people a sense of well-being. It is powerful for a child to see their parent buying a house. That's powerful, to say that we own it. My father, he bought a house. He only had a 4th grade education, but he bought a house. And my mother lived in that house until she was 92 when she died. But let me tell you something. It changed my whole life. I went to a better school. I had great neighbors. People got involved in the community because they wanted to keep the community nice and looking good. But it gave us a sense that we owned a piece of America. And one of the last things my father said before he died is, I just don't ever let my house go. Just one little house, but this is my little piece of America. And that's what we're talking about. It's bigger than taxes. It's about building people, all right?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.